Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Rival RSX Guerrero Deluxe boxing boots. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Rival RSX Guerrero Deluxe boxing boots. These retail for $94.99 on Rival's website. So roughly $95 if you want to round up. Comes in 3 different colorways. I got mine in silver. You can also get it in gold or black. And sizing wise, you can get them as small as a size 6 in men's all the way up to size 13. Unfortunately, they did not make this particular model with half sizes. So if you are somebody that has a normal size foot, I would recommend if you're true to size at a whole size, so say if you're size 10, always easy to get size 10, you don't have to go up or down. If your foot is a little bit on the larger side, then I would definitely recommend going up to a size 11. And the reason I say that is because it's a lot easier to go up in size, in my opinion, than it is to go down in size, because you can always remove the insole and get something thicker that could fill in the boot a little bit better. Whereas if the shoe is too small, then there's really nothing you can do about that. I mean, you could try to stretch the shoe out using like a shoe stretcher or just using it. But if it's too small, then generally speaking, it's gonna be much harder to break in than it is to have a shoe that's a little bit larger where you can fill it in with like an insole or really thick socks or something to that degree. If I were to compare these to like the Nike boxing shoes, like the Macho Mai, the Hyper KO, they're definitely more accommodating to wider feet, especially in this front toe box area. I know for those of you that have been a subscriber to my channel for a long time, you know in a lot of my boxing shoe reviews, I always kind of discuss this area on the boxing boot in particular, just because for me having wide feet, I usually wear size 10 and a half, but I always go with size 11 like I did with these. I got these in 11. I always have issues with this toe box because my foot is wide and it'll rub, and just depending on the outer material they use on it and the flexibility, that really will determine how comfortable they are. And in size 11, these are very comfortable. I haven't had any issues with discomfort on the side of the foot. Now material wise with this shoe, you have a little bit of a combination of PU, so basically it's a synthetic polyurethane upper with mesh inserts. You'll notice that it has a really nice looking design. The silver on here isn't extremely shiny. It's not like a shiny silver, it's more of like a pearlescent silver, which I prefer. So it looks good. It's somewhat flashy, but not overly flashy, and I definitely like the design. The other reason I wanted to do a review and use these boots is because I did a review years ago, I want to say 8 years ago, back in 2014, of the Rival RSX 2 boxing boots, and I want to say that these are the successors to those, and those have been discontinued years ago, and then Rival came out with these. So they have a very similar fit and feel. I think structurally they're very similar. This is a mid-top boxing shoe, which is my favorite height. I like the look of high tops, but for everyday use, when you're using them in training, they can kind of be inconvenient lacing them on and removing them. I don't like the look of low tops, and generally speaking, it doesn't have as good ankle support as a mid to a high top boxing boot does. And just aesthetically, I hate the way low tops look, especially if you're not wearing them with socks. They just look funny to me. So I do like mid top. To me, that's kind of like the sweet spot when it comes to the height of the shoe and the aesthetic. So it looks good. You kind of get best of both worlds. But you'll notice compared to the RX2 boxing boots from back in 2014, that old video I did, this one's a little bit higher up, but has kind of a similar look and design. So again, you have that polyurethane upper. You do have the Rival printed on the mesh upper right here. That's actually, I want to say it's glued in there. So the letters themselves are not printed. Excuse me, they're basically almost like a kind of like a plastic material that's glued on. I also like the laces on these boots. You'll notice that the top upper laces right up here also have the metal inserts, so that it's a lot easier to lace it up. They move very smoothly inside the lace holes. So some of the other boxing boots only have the holes punched out like you do on this lower section, which would have been nice. It would have been nice if they did the little eyelets all throughout the entire boot, not on just these 4 upper. That way it moves smooth. But either way, I feel like the lacing system on this is very nice, especially because of how smooth it runs. I also like these thinner ribbon laces, because I feel like these ribbon laces, they tie nicely and they don't come undone. Sometimes you have laces, or even the more rounder style laces, that will kind of untie themselves, and these stay nice and in place, should I say. So I definitely like that. You'll notice that the tongue itself also has the polyurethane material. It says Rival in silver with the script. It is also made of mesh, and then you also have the lace track that goes all the way down to the very top to the bottom right down here. So from the top to bottom, you do have the lace track that keeps the tongue up, and it doesn't allow the tongue to collapse down into the shoe. So I'll definitely like that. So again, Rival logo on that side, no Rival logo on the inner side of the shoe, or the body facing side. You also have a reinforced carbon heel cap that's really nice and hard, with the Rival on the back, as well as this right here for the laces, or you can use it to hang the boot. So you do have that lace track right here on the back that has that Rival logo on the back of it. But nice carbon heel cap. The boot is relatively lightweight, but you get that nice support on the back of your heel. You have a rubber outsole that has that crisscross waffle pattern, and it also has a steel plate that is actually built into the midsole that you can't see. That gives you a lot more stability and rigidity through the midsection of the foot. So you have that rubber outsole that does say Rival, and you also notice that the outsole also kind of rolls up on the edges right there. I didn't have any issues with traction. These grip very nicely. Great for ring work, great for boxing gym style floor. So if your gym floor is a little bit more on the slick side, these work fantastic. If you have a standard boxing ring that has the boxing canvas on the floor, they work really well with that as well. A garage floor, they grip nicely. So very good for different types of surfaces. I would be wary, if you're using this on concrete or asphalt, something a little bit more rougher, that it's not a very thick outsole, so it's gonna kind of wear down quickly. When it comes to any type of conditioning or any high impact exercises or drills you may be doing, just be mindful that it's not really designed for that, in my opinion. Weight wise, before I forget, let's go ahead and grab the scale. I'll show you guys how much this weighs. Hopefully I have the battery at work still. And let's go ahead and put it on the scale. So the left boot is at 12.3 ounces. And the right boot is at 12.5. So they're relatively on weight with each other, and just overall a pretty lightweight boot. So just to show you guys the weights. Aside from that, you also have the inner tongue, where it shows you the branding, the size, both in US, UK, and Europe specs. So US is 10, UK is, or should I say US is 11, excuse me. UK is 10 and Europe is 45. The shoes themselves are made in China. Another nice feature of the boot is you have a removable insole. I like the fact that they don't glue it in there, so you can actually pull the insole out if you want to put it in your own custom orthotics. It does have the insole right here. It does have arch support that is built in as well. And you can just see how it's designed. I'd say that it has maybe about 1/8 of an inch of padding, maybe 1/4 inch. This is probably my least favorite part of the shoe. Again, this is a shoe that's made for doing primarily boxing training. So sparring, hitting the bag, no running, no type of like hard, big, box jumps, nothing high impact, because you barely have any type of cushioning or support for that type of activity. So if I were to critique these boots on anything, is that they, out of a lot of the boxing boots I've used, one of my favorites, if not my favorite, are the Adams V trainers. Those are a great combination of a boot that's both great for using for boxing type workouts, but as well as doing some type of conditioning plyometrics type exercises. This one, you'll definitely feel it. When I was using these, I did a couple of exercises where I was doing like split lunges, where you split back and forth, so my feet would leave the ground for a couple of seconds and then come back down, and I noticed that my feet ended up hurting. I also did some box jumps at the gym. I do a lot of my strength and conditioning. And instead of jumping back down, I would just go 1 foot at a time to lead myself down, because again, the impact on the floor with these boots, I could definitely feel it in my feet and eventually in my lower back. So do be mindful of that. Again, it's not really a knock on this boot, because this boot's not really designed for that. But if you're looking for a boot that you're gonna be transitioning in your gym from doing, say you're doing like 6 to 8 rounds of sparring, and then right after that your coach is like, all right, time to do conditioning on it. I'm gonna need you to do the battle ropes, I'm gonna need you to do some box jumps, I'm gonna need you to like hit the sled, all that stuff. You can do it, but it's not gonna be as comfortable in my opinion, or as cushioned as well as like a pair of like sneakers or running shoes, where you have a thicker insole that's a little bit more protective on your lower body. So just my opinion on that. But very reminiscent of the RX2 shoes. I love those shoes. These are extremely comfortable, they're very lightweight. They're very convenient to put on. That's another thing is, again, sliding your foot in and out of the shoe is very easy to do. Some boxing boots, when you take it off and put it on, you have the upper strap, you have the toe strap, you just have a lot of extra apparatus that helps with support, but it also makes the shoe kind of inconvenient to take on and put on. So with these, I felt like putting them on and taking them off were a real breeze. You can put them on, take them off real easy. They lace up real quickly. I think they look really nice. I wish they would have other colorways other than the silver, gold, and black, just because I feel like silver and gold is a very particular color, right? You either hate it or love it. Black is pretty standard, but not a lot of people black. Some people want more colors, like a blue with black or a blue with white. So if they come out with other colors, I think that would be pretty cool. But overall, I'm pretty satisfied with these, even at the price point of about $95. I definitely think when it comes to a pair of boxing boots, these are probably in my top 5. Where they rank with that, I would have to really sit down and think about it. But definitely satisfied with these, comfortable, they perform well, especially for boxing specific workouts. I think these excel really nicely. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Rival RSX Guerrero Deluxe boxing boots. And I'll see you guys later. Take care.